They're at the post. And they are off. Good start for Soft Pants, who was quick into stride, as was Dream Factor, flashing speed. Up from the outside, paid in full is forwardly placed as River in Egypt will settle along in the fourth position, about 5 off the pace. Levy is next in a gap of about a length and a half to Bioka, who's down along the inside. It is Alcatraz next in. Rounder is 3 deep as they head up the backside. And up top, fleet-footed on the front end, Dream Factor showing the way by a length and a half. Paid in full, racing along in second. Soft Pants has deferred. He'll track from third, 2.5 off the lead. A huge margin of about 6 lengths back to River in Egypt, who is fourth. Now advancing to the outside, Levy's on the move, as is Bioka from between horses, still 4. Back to Ronnie the limo driver from the inside, out of Alcatraz is out of last, and Rounder now can see them all. Into the far turn, just about 3/8 from home. The half mile, a moderate 46 and 2. So Dream Factor still shows the way with about 5/16 of a mile to go, but now Paid in Full comes to tackle, and Paid in Full, just like that, is opened up 2.5. But here comes Levy, the son of Gunrunner, kicks out wide for the drive as they leave the quarter-mile pull behind, and they race towards the top of the home stretch at the P-Patch. Whip is out on Paid in Full. He'll turn first, and Paid in Full shows the way 2.5. River in Egypt is gaining ground up the inside also. Levy is still fighting on 1/16 for Paid in Full, who desperately needs the wire. River in Egypt is coming up the inside, and a Levy attacks to the outside. River in Egypt up the inside to win now 2 in a row for River in Egypt. A tight photo for second. Levy photoed there with Paid in Full, and the running time 1:39 flat. They are at the post, and they are racing. Badge Ball bounces out on top. There goes Cella's Center Sin, flashing that speed up to the outside. So Center Sin shows the way. Has company, though, as Isocline pressures up from between horses. Badge Ball taken back in hand from third. Western Gent is fourth on a length in front of Lupo's Legacy, still 2. Back to Getting Paid, and at the back of the pack, the gray. Dr. Perry will have to run by them all. Into the far turn, about 7 or 8 lengths from top to bottom. In the first quarter on the board, 22 and 3. Center Sin still doing business there up top with Isocline. Center Sin pokes a neck in front. Isocline to the inside as they race around the turn just outside the quarter pole. Meanwhile, Western Gent just took off heels there as they reach the top of the home stretch. And Center Sin, the son of Practical Joke, comes to the top of the lane with a length and a half lead. Badge Ball full bore to the outside to come and get him. Lupo's Legacy way out wide third. Up the inside, Isocline from last. Dr. Perry's underway, but with a 16th to go, Center Sin trying to flee the scene here. Center Sin left him in his wake, and Center Sin's going to go on to roll to victory for Sella and Moquette, and won by about a half a dozen. Badge Ball was second, then it was Lupo's Legacy, and Dr. Perry photoed for the Shoto, and the running time for the winner, Gate to Wire, in a contested 109 and 4. She's in, they're at the post. And they're off. Zadorsky, quick into stride. There goes Gypsy Tales. Now, Gypsy Tales broke running, and she opens up a length and a half. Dubois Blanc settles along in the second position. Zadorsky now, she's third, 2.5 off the lead. Foolish Front Fifi is fourth. Then up on the outside, Alamo now moves a closer fifth, while in the 3-path down towards the inside, Joke Master is next. Still about 2 lengths back to Cairo Street, a similar margin back to Saltwater Taffy, and warming up from the back of the pack is Desert Rhapsody. Outside a quarter mile to go. The first quarter contested 22 and 3, and they race towards the top of the home stretch, and Dubois Blanc comes calling for the lead. Gypsy Tales still fighting on to the inside. These two shoulder to shoulder with a furlong to go. On the outside, Dubois Blanc. Gypsy Tales, she's game to the inside. It's a long way back to Zadorsky. They're inside final 16th. Down on the outside, it's Dubois Blanc trying to press on past Gypsy Tales. Photo! What a thrilling stretch drive. Gypsy Tales, Dubois Blanc, they locked up at the top of the stretch, and they hit the wire together. Bit-to-be. Now she's in. They're at the post, and they are racing. Good level beginning From the inside, Stanley Market, Violent Point, they'll hook up. Don't You Know It, flashing her speed up to the outside from third. A bit to be away in the fourth position, and Owen's Pleasure is the last of the five. Up the backside they wheel, just outside the 5 furlong marker. And Violent Point at 3 to 5 shows the way from stablemate Don't You Know It, who's tracking from second. Now, A Bit to Be draws right alongside Stanley Market, third and fourth. Owen's Pleasure is last, but a compact field covered by just about 5 lengths as they bend into the turn. The quarter 22 and 1. And it's Don't You Know It and Violent Point. The two as mussing the charges. They are shoulder to shoulder, stride for stride. And they're about 3 in front of A Bit to Be, who's come on through to be third. Down on the inside, Stanley Market is next between those two. Owen's Pleasure, 1 quarter to go. And it is Don't You Know It trying to put away her stablemate Violent Point to the top of the home stretch. And Don't You Know It in flow comes calling for the lead. Violent Point is under heavy pressure from second. Stanley Market is loose and charging. They're inside the final furlong. Don't You Know It clear by the 16th pole by 4. The battles for the balance between Stanley Market and Violent Point. Don't You Know It and Mr. Steve stays hot in Hendo and gives Flo 2 on the card here as Don't You Know It. She won by almost 3 in the end. A photo for the place spot between Stanley Market and Violent Point. Owen's Pleasure was 4. Are at the post. And they are racing. And Bling, the favorite, bounces out on top and will assume command, has the lead and the fence on the run the first turn. But from the high draw, Margot in a bubble bath now intent on getting the lead, and she crosses and clears midway through the opening turn. So Margot in a bubble bath will dictate terms. The graded stake place Bling will track her from second. Down on the inside, Joe Talamo has Puffin glued to the fence there from third. In between horses, Sand and Sea is next. She's on the rocks. Loops up to the extreme outside as they turn up the backside. Now Lucy's Cakes Fly advances a couple of positions. She's up into third. Then we trail back 4 lengths to Haystack, who's down along the inside, about 7 off the lead. From between horses, She Will Ghost You is next. And at the back of the pack, Klimp's Muse is last of them all. Just outside a half mile to go. First quarter, not all that fast, 24 and 3. So they pass the half mile pole, continue the run up the backstretch. No twist in the plot. The leader still Margot in a bubble bath, and Bling still tracking her from second. As Lucy's Cakes Fly draws an ever closer third. Puffin still right along that fence there next. And James King, Sand and Sea from between horses as they round the turn. Now Margot in a bubble bath confronted by Bling and the Watts Humphrey Jr. Silks as they race towards the top of the home stretch. And Bling comes on to take command as they turn on down for the money. And as they lean into the lane, Bling off the turn in front by a length. Here's Haystack loosing, charging with Sand and Sea from the backfield. Klimp's Muse is finishing with interest, 1/16 to go. Bling shaking up on a tenuous lead. Haystack to the outside, Sand and Sea in the middle to the wire. Bling shines in victory here, wins by about 3 parts of a length. Sand and Sea and Haystack were next, and then Klimp's Muse was fourth, 135 and 2. Filly 2-year-old maidens are at the post, and they are racing. Quick start for Pino's Little Girl, who fires down along the inside, is quick into stride. Here You Come Again, flashing speed up to the outside. From between horses, the gray integrated design away in third. Covered up by Midnight Angel and Hot Beach. They flank around both sides, still 4. Back to Sweet Mimi. Then a link for the back to Incredible Cheeky. She's racing along the rail, about 5 in front of Social Affair, and still 2 or 3 back to the trailer, Hot Beach. They round the turn just outside, a quarter mile to go. And up top, down along the inside, it is Pino's Little Girl, but it is Here You Come Again, who threatens up to the outside, and she loops up with momentum as they reach the top of the home stretch. Here You Come Again has the lead, shifting ground down towards the rail with a furlong to go. Hot Beach is gaining ground to the outside, so it's Here You Come Again, 1/16 to go. Hot Beach at 3 to 5 is going to be defeated, and defeated by Here You Come Again, a well-meant daughter of Liam's Map. She won by about 2.5. Hot Beach was second, and it was a long way back to Pino's Little Girl, who was third. Then Midnight Angel was fourth, 57. And they are racing. Pogoriak is squeezed on for some early speed. Testimony time. Also flashing speed as they run on over to the opening turn. And from the outside, crossing and clearing. Now it is Aloha Makwani who shows the way. Aloha Makwakani shows the way 2.5 to Pogoriak, who'll defer and track from second. Peak on turf debut down on the inner rail from third. Up to the outside, Grand Aspen is next. Testimony time is down on the inside from fifth. Decanted is 6 and about 7 or 8 off the pace. In point. Flanks that one up to the outside. Augustus Blue advancing down along the inner rail. Then Tis Wicked Strong. Time to make mischief is a dozen lengths off the lead. 2 in front of St. John's. And Athens Moon is at the back of the pack. Just outside a half mile to go. The first quarter on the board, 23 and 4. They continue to charge up the backside into the far turn. Aloha Makwakani still showing the way, and showing the way by 1.5 lengths up to the outside. Here comes Grand Aspen, and Tyler has that one set to strike on turf debut, and a host of challengers coming from the backfield, including In Point, who's catching the eye in the red silks, breezing up in hand as they race around the turn. And here come the maidens with a quarter to go. And up top it's Grand Aspen, and the Paulson Silks will turn first and turns in front by 2.5 In Point. In chase mode from second, 1 furlong to go, and Grand Aspen gliding along up top, and here comes Endpoint, who has the measure to the outside, 1/16 to go. Endpoint swoosh right on by Grand Aspen in the final strides, and Endpoint for Larry Best and Paulo Lobo win, and when going away 2.5, Grand Aspen was second. Take photo for third. Athens Moon to the outside of St. John's, running time 1:35 and 2. And they are off. Rocket beginning for 2-minute drill, who broke right into stride. Also, quick into stride, Check Engine Light was fleet-footed as they headed out of the chute and they straightened up on the main course. So up top from between horses, it's Miss Arlington showing the way. Check Engine Light to the inside from second. Orange Silks is 2-minute drill third. Up to the outside, Garden Bell is fourth and 4.5 off the pace. And the pair of Padma and Yes Day, they race it in tandem about 4 in front of Jokes on Blue. And at the back of the pack, Red Hot Genie now up a spot. Into the far turn run, 3.5 furlongs from home. The quarter 22 seconds flat. Check Engine Light, Miss Arlington, showing the way midpoint through the turn. Racing up into third is 2-minute drill. There's a margin of about 4 lengths back to Yes Day. Padma's under a heavy drive, is fifth, about 7 lengths off the lead. Red Hot Genie's up a couple of spots, 1 quarter to go, but Miss Arlington has shaken clear, and she shook clear by about 4 lengths to the top of the home stretch. Miss Arlington, upset-minded. Here comes Yes Day driving up the fence. There's good offense. Padma from between horses. Check Engine Light is next outside the 16th pole, and it's Miss Arlington up top showing the way, but Yes Day is gaining ground to the inside, and she's attacked to the outside by Padma. A driving finish to the wire. Photo finish. Padma to the outside of Yes Day. Those two hit the wire in a camera close-up. And they're off. Good beginning. From the inside is Centauro, flashing speed. Also, Fix It with Forward is forwardly placed on the run to the first turn. Up on the extreme outside, he's more than ready from third. Now advancing to the inside, really headstrong and keen to go on was Cosmic Storm. But now that one starts to settle, shaded by Midnight Channel, still 4. Back to Booster Shot. Post Tenebras Lou races right alongside that one as they work around the turn to straighten up the backstretch journey. Then it's Bon Bueno, who races about a dozen lengths off the lead. A couple lengths further back to Spun Sun as they continue to run up. Backside Storm Strategy is last, the quarter 24 and 3/5 seconds. About 15 lengths now from top to bottom, just outside the half-mile pole. It's Fix It with Forward, showing the way. Pressure to the outside by Rural. These two on even terms. From third is He's More Than Ready. Centauro right alongside as well as they bend into the far turn. Post Tenebras Lou is next. Just about 3 furlongs to go. The half mile now, 48 seconds flat. So it's still Fix It with Forward. In Rural, they continue to battle up top and neither give it an inch. They are stride for stride, but in behind comes a host of challengers. Centauro set to strike from third. Looping up to the outside. flat. Bonbueno is the first to move many chances to the top of the home stretch. And it is Fix It with Ford who cut the corner. Centauro upset-minded trying to split horses. Bonbueno trying to tighten that hole. But meanwhile, Spun Sun is trying to come over the top of the big number 116. Fix It with Ford is still finding for the bull. Up to the outside, Spun Sun is gaining ground. Fix It with Ford, home a winner. Fix It with Ford turned them all back. He was pressed every yard and gets home a 6-1 winner to close out the show, 137 flat.